Hey there, frying pans, it's your girl WolfBerry here, and today I'm joined by Lemon to talk about neurodivergence.
Hello.
So what we are going to do is explain to you guys what autism and ADHD actually is, as well as the kind of traits and experiences we personally have. First of all, it should be made clear that I have ADHD.
And I'm autistic.
Though, fun fact, I was almost diagnosed with autism, but I guess I didn't meet the criteria for it. Anyway, Lemon, you can go first and talk about the basis for what autism is and the kinds of things you experience.
Okay. So autism is basically a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by difficulty in socialization, communication, and restrictive and repetitive behaviors. Fun fact, everyone with autism is affected differently. Some traits I experience, though, are eye contact, sensory issues, stemming, and masking.
Now, ADHD is also a developmental disorder. It stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, and it begins in early childhood. It is often misunderstood and can cause problems with family life, friendships, schooling, and work. Some traits associated with ADHD include trouble focusing, struggles with executive functioning, time blindness, and delayed processing. People with ADHD tend to forget things easily and are easily distracted. So now I am going to let Lemon explain some of her experiences, and then I will go after.
Okay. I'm someone who either gives too much or too little eye contact. It can be incredibly uncomfortable to look others in the eyes. When I give too much, however, I appear rude. I also struggle with too much sensory input. Things like loud noises and certain food textures can make me feel overwhelmed. I often get really anxious when overwhelmed and have to go be by myself until I feel better. I also make repetitive movements known as stemming. Everyone stems, but autistic people have more obvious stems. I personally bounce my legs and twirl my hair, and I will occasionally rock back and forth when overwhelmed. These are reactions to strong emotions, good or bad. Finally, I mask or hide my autistic traits. I do this to appear normal and to avoid judgments and bullying. It's incredibly exhausting, and it can make me feel really anxious or tired. It's really bad for my overall health and well-being. Unfortunately, it's the only solution for many to get through a world not made for us. Anyway, that's all I had to share.
Wow, that's so much great information, Lemon. Now I will talk about my experiences. I will say that until earlier this year, I never realized how much of my neurodivergence actually came through. For the most part, having ADHD didn't really affect me, and I think a lot of stuff I probably did was assumed to be normal. Though ever since finding out I was almost diagnosed autistic, I have been more in tune with my neurodivergent traits. For example, my struggle with object permanence. This is something everyone develops when they are infants. It's when you can realize that things still exist even when you do not see them or they are hidden. For instance, if you put a plushie under a blanket, you cannot see it anymore, but you know it is still there. But with ADHD, a person tends to have what I call out of sight, out of mind, meaning if someone or something isn't right in front of us, then we are not actively thinking about it. And it is often why we forget about tasks at hand. Another thing I struggle with at times is delayed processing. It's when someone talks to me, but I don't always process what they are saying until a second or two later. So sometimes I'll say what, only to immediately reply afterwards with a proper answer. And a lot of the time when I am studying or reading something, I struggle to retain information. So I will reread something over and over, even if it's just one sentence. Additionally, I cannot remember instructions if I am given too much at a time, but fun fact, I actually do stim sometimes. For the most part, I tend to rock myself back and forth, sometimes consciously, sometimes not. Other times I will have a restless leg, though it is less often now, and sometimes I will snap my fingers when I am bored. So that is all I have to share for today.
Whoa! That's very interesting.
So that concludes our discussion on neurodivergence. We hope you enjoyed the video and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye!